They really aren't.
Thanks very much, Mr. Clump.
Aren't you two forgetting something?
Well, you build in.
Skull and jaw from...
Hi, I'm Jill, host of syndicated FM radio show Middays with Jill Winter on Rhythm 105.9 FM in California and Jams 99.3 FM in Kansas. I also host the podcast, What I'm Watching with Jill Winter, where my co-host Jen Kane and I discuss TV shows, movies, and documentaries. The show is broken down into two segments, where at the beginning, I do a weekly rundown of the shows I've been watching, because quite frankly, I binge a lot of television, and then Jen joins in to do a deep dive with me of a few things that we've both viewed, and then we rate them. Sometimes we agree, and sometimes we don't, but we always have fun. What you're about to hear is us delving into A Christmas Story Christmas, which is the sequel to the beloved holiday classic, A Christmas Story. This is from episode 23 of What I'm Watching with Jill Winter. Please enjoy. Before Jen and I start discussing our first movie of this episode, I'd like to remind everyone that our rating scale is predicated upon the 5-star method, but with a twist. After seeing one of the worst movies ever, called Antlers, I started rating movies using antlers, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. But we like to have a little fun with it. So for Christmas content, it may be reindeer antlers, or for Thanksgiving movies, it could be turkey legs or yams. It all depends how the silly hits us on any given day. But you get the point. 1 will always be horrible, and 5 will always be fantastic, no matter what we call them. Now, I'm really excited to begin this segment with Jen, because as usual, we didn't discuss A Christmas Story Christmas, now airing on HBO Max, prior to this conversation. And I'm super curious to find out her take on the movie. Set in 1973, 33 years after the events of A Christmas Story, the new film sees a grown-up Ralph Parker as a father of 2 and struggling writer who returns to his childhood home for the holidays after the unexpected death of his own dad, the old man, played by the late Darren McGavin in the first movie.
I feel the original movie was such a classic and such a really good Christmas family movie. Doing anything around this, I was a little concerned. It's hard to mess with such a classic, but I think they did a lot of callbacks to the original movie.
Yes.
It had that same nostalgic feel to it, and it was great seeing them kind of grown up, and Ralphie still pretty much looks the same.
Well, on that note, I mean, this was a direct sequel to the original, and a lot of the original actors returned. Ralphie came back, Peter Billingsley, Randy, Flick, Schwartz, Scott Farkas, they all reprised their original roles. And then Erin Hayes played Ralphie's wife Sandy, and Julie Haggerty of Airplane fame came in to pinch hit for Melinda Dillon as Ralphie's mom. Now, Dillon is still with us, but she's no longer acting. So I thought that they all did an excellent job, considering that, as you mentioned, this was a really delicate situation to jump into. And Peter Billingsley didn't want to go near anything for 40 years until the correct script was brought to him.
Right, and that says a lot. You know, they knew what a classic movie this was, and it's, you know, it shows 24 hours a day. You know, on Christmas Eve it starts.
Yes, and it always runs in the background in our house.
Absolutely, and we've all quoted from it. We all, you know, fragile. I can't see the word fragile without saying that anymore.
I have to actually interject. Alex is a big kid at heart, and I love him. It's adorable. He likes all of the Halloween monster cereals, the Boo Berry and the Frankenberry. And apparently there was, not even my kids, I mean, they like it, but like we buy it because he loves them. And apparently there was some contest on the back of the box, and he entered it. I didn't even know he was like, you know, because he's not big on the computer stuff and, you know, things like that. He entered this contest. He wasn't even like, hey, babe, can you enter this for me? He entered it on his own. And he texts me one day and he's like, guess what? I won the contest. I'm getting a major award. And
even he knows.
Right. And if that's a direct quote from A Christmas Story, because the old man won a major award, which was that leg lamp. And I said to him,
Classic leg lamp.
When your major award arrives, I will proudly display it for you in the window with your Christmas Story shirt on while you're wearing it, and we can write Fragile, and I will happily post it for you. Apparently, it's like bobbleheads or something of the characters from this cereal.
Right, right. It is funny though. Even sometimes we get things at work. We do get a lot of fragile things in at work, and sometimes I'll just yell out,
Must be Italian, like you.
Well, yeah, it must be Italian. It's a major award, and I can tell some people will turn around and laugh, and others that haven't seen the movie like just look at me, and I'm like, "Come on, you got to get on board with this." It really
It's
has
sad
seeped
if people
is
haven't
sad.
seen it. I mean, they still show it. It's not like you're talking about, Casablanca, which I'll admit I've never seen. I mean,
No,
something that
I
they don't
tried it,
show 24/7 on a holiday.
Right, right. It's like Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie, but that's a whole other.
That's a
story.
whole other episode.
A whole other episode. But yeah, I feel like, this younger kids, like maybe they don't watch this movie. And it's really sad because I feel like it can go with any generation. Every generation can relate to this movie.
The only reason I haven't put my kids in front of this movie yet is because I'm proud to say they still believe in Santa.
Ah, yeah.
And I want them to believe in it for as long as possible. This world is screwed up enough. I'm not taking away the magic.
Nope.
Let them believe in Santa, the Tooth Fairy, any other entity that, will give them as much happiness as possible for as long as possible. But the second that goes away, which I'm not looking forward to, they will be watching this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
So it'll be on in the background, but there are certain scenes we kind of scooch them away from the TV for.
Right. That's bad. Don't pay attention to that. And how funny is it that Scott Farkas is now a police officer?
It's fantastic because he says in the movie to Ralphie, "You beating the snot out of me set me straight." So I happen to really enjoy this movie. I think it was a fantastic homage to Darren McGavin. They, as you mentioned, did a lot of callbacks, but it wasn't cheesy.
No.
Like, they could have really gone super cheese whiz with this movie, but they didn't. They did similar scenes to, again, pay homage to the original, but they didn't replicate them exactly.
Right.
It was a sort of, what would happen in that era. Again, it took place in the 70s. So in there today, this is what would happen in juxtaposition to what happened to Ralphie and Randy when they were kids.
Right. And I like that they did put little clips in of the original movie to give it context and to kind of show you a little bit what they were pulling from, which I thought was really nice. And the whole bullying with the kids and things like that, that's constant. We always talk about the things that we watch that, have bullies in them.
Right.
But, that's an ongoing thing and how you deal with them. And there were some life lessons in there, of course, as in the original. So
the only thing that I kind of mentioned to Alex when we watched it was that Julie Haggerty did a nice job, but she had that kind of blank stare that she had in Airplane, where they made her look a little flightier than Melinda Dillon did. I mean, she played the role well, and when they did the one flashback with Melinda Dillon, I was like, okay, I could kind of see the resemblance of, all those years later. But Melinda Dillon played a very strong parental figure.
Yep.
Like, she was the glue that held everything together.
She was missed.
She was. I wish she were still acting. I don't know her health condition or, any particular specifics about her. Maybe she just wasn't capable, But I just wish that, she hadn't played it in, again, that kind of Airplane way. But overall, I think, stepping into such an iconic cult classic role, because I don't think that it was a box office smash when it came out, that she did a good job.
She did. And the one scene I was looking for, a callback that I was looking for, is one of my favorites. It's, show everybody how the piggy eats. Like, I kind of missed that. I was kind of hoping, but seemed like the kids were a little bit older. So, but I kind of missed that scene.
And the kids were cute, but the daughter, I kept going to Alex, is it me or I don't really understand the daughter when she was speaking? I had a hard time understanding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but again, I've said this before, I do have some hearing loss from standing in front of amps for, 30 years. So it could have just been me.
Yeah, no, I didn't. And she didn't annoy me. So I was.
Yeah, she was cute.
She was cute.
She was cute as a button. Yeah. I mean, the kids did a great job. They weren't annoying. The movie did not drag. I thought it was an excellent movie. It was super emotional, though. I don't think this is going to be an annual watch for me. But if you're a fan of the movie, or I should say if you're a fan of the original Christmas movie, 1,000,000%, I would say watch it. But get the Kleenex out, because this is a sad one.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, alluding to his dad and writing his obituary and things like that. He makes that statement in the movie that it is something that all of us at one point or another have to deal with is the passing of our parents.
Right.
And that's, that's a gut punch.
Especially for a holiday movie when you want to feel good about what you're watching.
Right. And if you've lost parents and now here you are again around the holidays, it could be tough on people. But they handled it really well. And, I definitely, like you said, if you were a fan of the first movie, definitely watch this.
It's one of the best sequels I've seen in a long time. Only because of the emotional factor, I'm going to give it 4 reindeer antlers as opposed to 5. Definitely stream it.
I would also give this movie 4 reindeer antlers just because of the original movie that it was based on. And like you said, this was a really well done sequel.
Thanks so much for joining us for our deep dive into A Christmas Story Christmas. If you enjoyed it, you can listen to the full episode, along with all of our other shows, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Please feel free to join us on Twitter, where you can find me at Jill Winter Music, and there's a link tree in my bio to all of our sites. You can find Jen at Jen Kane TV, and you can find our amazing producer DJ Bingington at DJ BINGINGTON. Please remember to subscribe to our show as well. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, go find a show to binge.